We had a year break from the MCU,
Which is fine.
but I'm really happy that we're finally getting back to it. Roll the intro. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the J.Meaney review. I'm J.Meaney, and today I'm counting down my top 5 most anticipated MCU content of 2021. It's a long-ass title.
Damn.
So you guys know, we've been away from the MCU for about a year, but we're finally getting back into it with WandaVision, which
Was great.
we actually have quite a few things coming out from the MCU this year. Kevin Feige said every week of 2021 will have MCU content, which is now made possible because they're doing shows, week-to-week episodes. So I'm going to count down my top 5 list of the things that I'm most excited to see come out of the MCU this year. Starting with number 5, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, from the hype that I see online, this is actually higher on a lot of other people's lists. I think the biggest con for me is I'm not ready for an MCU without Steve Rogers.
It's inevitable, you know.
I'm just not ready for it, and this is taking a big dive into that happening. The show seems to be centered around the new Captain America. I don't even like saying that, new Captain America.
Nah.
I've never really been a big fan of Falcon in the MCU. Anthony Mackie is really good in the role. He's a likable character, sure, but I'm not craving more Falcon content.
I'm not looking for Falcon in the crowd when the Avengers are at battle.
Bucky, on the other hand, I've been a huge fan of throughout all these movies. Between his backstory to his arc after he was no longer brainwashed, and that's something I want to see more of. I really care about where this character is and what he's doing. Personally, I'd rather see Bucky take up the mantle of Captain America. I think if you took out the fact that he murdered a bunch of people,
Which is bad.
terrible, actually. He killed Tony's dad.
It's awful.
And it's essentially why he's not going to take up the role as Captain America. I get it.
But personally,
He's the one I wanted to see take over that mantle, pick up the shield.
I don't know if he really needs it. He got the arm. Well, I guess he could use the shield too. Yeah, because he's got the strong arm, the arm and the shield. It's perfect.
Falcon can have it, whatever, sure. I'm not going to riot about it. I'm not
Gonna cry about it.
I am really interested to see the story that they're going for right now. A confliction on whether or not Falcon can handle stepping into those shoes. And the government seems to have chosen their own Captain America, which I really just want to see how that plays out and how that works. I mean, you're Captain America now.
What?
I really want to see Bucky just really find his place in this world. Poor guy died, came back to life, got brainwashed, got unbrainwashed, then got framed for the murder of T'Challa's father,
Got brainwashed again.
then unbrainwashed. Had a little bit of peace, a little bit of time to himself when he got to just stay on Wakanda. You know, he was looking a little bit like Jesus. But then T'Challa's like, yo, the entire universe is at stake.
Poor Bucky.
Also, the charisma between Bucky and Falcon is great. I really do like it. And I think that's one of my favorite things about Falcon is his relationship with Bucky, their love-hate relationship. It's perfect for this buddy cop type of show. Oh, and Baron Zemo.
I'm not sure what he's doing or how he got out, but I want to see what's up.
Number 4. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Let me start by saying I don't know a damn thing about the origin of Shang-Chi.
All I know is he's deemed the master of Kung Fu, which I thought Iron Fist was the master of Kung Fu. Are they both the master of Kung Fu? Really would have liked to see Iron Fist in the MCU, but
We won't go down that road.
that's what makes me so intrigued by this movie. I'm going in not having any sort of backstory to this character. When Ant-Man came out, I knew who Ant-Man was, you know. I went in with a pretty good idea of what was going on. It also sets people up to have expectations. But for me, it's something completely brand new. You have an Asian lead, it's gonna dive into some Asian culture. That's different. That's cool, let's do it. That's what I need from the MCU at this point. Just something different. Play around with different themes like they did with WandaVision. You can't replicate what you did in those 10, 12 years. You need to evolve. The MCU needs to expand. Guardians of the Galaxy is a perfect example. That was something different that we got from the MCU. And not to mention, I went into that movie not knowing a damn thing about the Guardians of the Galaxy, which was exciting. I got introduced to these new characters that I now love. And there's nothing wrong with the formula that they've been using. I mean, it worked since
2008?
but it's a new age in the MCU. Times are changing, boys. Time we change too. And I'm not even saying that means for sure that I'm gonna like this movie.
I could hate it. Who knows?
But being able to go into this new movie in the MCU fresh, and I have really no background knowledge of the character, this is all being introduced to me for the first time, that's just exciting to me. And also, the actor that's playing Shang-Chi, I can't remember his name.
What good am I?
He's from, Kim's Convenience. I really like that show, and he has this kind of likability to him that I think is required to be a prominent figure in the MCU. And last, I'm interested to see the real Mandarin. I don't know much about the Mandarin. I actually like the Mandarin in Iron Man 3.
Relax. Calm down. Don't attack me.
Which I feel like if I knew more about the character when I went into Iron Man 3, like had more background on who the character's supposed to be, I probably wouldn't have liked the character very much. But I'm interested to see this real Mandarin that fans were hyped to see in the first place. Again, all new content and I'm totally here for it. Number 3, The Eternals. Like Shang-Chi, again, it has me excited because this is something new and fresh to me that I have minimum prior knowledge to. It's almost like Guardians unlocked this sort of optimism with me, excitement to go into something new that I could end up loving and it gets put on my radar. This movie is about ancient immortal aliens, basically, who were created by the Celestials, and they've been hiding in the MCU for like 7,000 years. After the events of Endgame, they're coming out of the shadows to prevent humanity from destruction again. From, I believe I read they were called Deviants, who are basically the evil counterparts of the Eternals. And the movie's going to take place over the course of thousands of years, which, don't get me wrong, that could be an issue if they don't do it right. But done right, that's something that can really deepen the mythology of the MCU. And I mean, shit, it sounds like quite an epic scale. They're saving humanity.
Eternals get their first movie and they're saving humanity.
Celestials, they've been mentioned here and there throughout the MCU so far. We never really get to dive into who they are, what they do, what they did. We will dive into that in the movie. Again, furthering the mythology and the history of the MCU before Captain America.
Way before Captain America.
And introducing a team of characters that I just might fall in love with. Not to mention the cast: Angelina Jolie, Salma Hayek, Kamal Nanjiani. Probably butchering his name.
You can never say it.
Brian Tyree Henry. Kevin Feige said that this movie is to be like anything we've seen in the MCU before, and I'm gonna hold him to that. Number 2, Loki. I almost feel like this one can speak for itself. Loki's one of my favorite characters in the MCU, and we've already been through so much with him. Now he has a Tesseract and he's gonna travel through the multiverse and go to different historic times in history and mess things up, and
It's just gonna be chaos.
while an organization is trying to stop him. That sounds immensely entertaining. Been anticipating where he went after he dipped out in Endgame. I knew that wasn't just the end of it, like, oh, he's gone. I am a little sick of him dying and coming back. In Infinity War, I was like, damn, he really died that time. Probably never gonna see him again.
But also,
If I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, in our timeline, the MCU that we're following,
He is dead.
this to me sounds like Tom Hiddleston is having one last extremely fun run as Loki. And I'm here for it. I think that they're gonna do this and then probably they should just do this one last fun run and then we should be done with Loki. I was thinking that it was gonna be Wanda that caused the madness, but it might be Loki. Either way, I can't wait to see it. And number 1, my number 1 most anticipated MCU content of this year, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero of all time. It's rare that any movie coming out the same year as a Spider-Man movie is going to be higher on my anticipation list. So much to look forward to in this movie. The cliffhanger at the end of Far From Home, Spider-Man has finally evolved into the Spider-Man that I know and love. His spider sense is fully developed. He was swinging through New York at the end of Far From Home. He's all done being that clumsy spider boy from Homecoming. Which is weird because he was really on his shit in Civil War. And then he's dicking around in Homecoming, being dragged by a van through the neighborhood. And then we see him in Infinity War and Endgame, and he's on his shit again.
I don't know.
He's finally Spider-Man. You know, like, he doesn't need the suit from Tony Stark. Like, that's one thing that I kind of got annoyed about in the MCU version of Spider-Man. Like, he had the Stark suit, and everything just evolved around Tony Stark, and it's like, Spider-Man's a great character on his own. He doesn't need that kind of suit. He can run around in tights and
Fuck shit up.
and now it feels like he's finally become Spider-Man. Don't get me wrong, it was cool to see like the Iron Spider, and it's cool that he has the gadgets, but in the comics and the cartoons, like, Peter makes a lot of his stuff himself, you know? Adds to the greatness, the intelligence of Peter. The movie's gonna deal with the multiverse arc that they got going, WandaVision.
Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Doctor Strange is going to be in the Spider-Man movie.
Confirmed.
Those two together is just gonna be really fun to watch. Jamie Foxx as Electro coming back. Alfred Molina as Doc Ock coming back. Those are confirmed. Even if it's a tiny cameo, that's going to be great. And if the rumors are true, which I
think they are,
Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are going to be in the movie. To what capacity, I don't know. Even if it's a 45-second cameo, that's going to blow my mind. It's going to blow my mind. I never thought I'd see Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man again. I like Andrew Garfield a lot as Spider-Man. It was sad to see it end, even though Amazing Spider-Man 2 was really bad, but had nothing to do with Andrew Garfield, in my opinion. Like, if this is true, it's going to be one of my favorite movie moments in history, and I don't think anything will ever be able to top that for me. Everything I've heard about this movie has just got me more and more excited. There's nothing coming out from the MCU this year that I am more excited for. Yeah, guys, that's my top 5 most anticipated content coming out of the MCU in 2021. Drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are excited to see. I know we have What If is going to be coming out on Disney+. Hawkeye's coming out this year. Whatever it is, drop down in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are excited to
see.
Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe, be sure to check out the Marvel Debate, a debate podcast where we debate Marvel, specifically the MCU. If you guys like MCU and you like debating different topics, check it out. I'll leave a link at the end of the video. And yeah, till next time.